You know that feeling when you check your bank account on payday and your heart just stops? October 20th, 2025, 6:47 a.m. I'm sitting in my 2018 Honda Civic outside the federal building in Washington, D.C., coffee in hand, ready for another day at the Department of Housing and Urban Development. 15 years I'd worked there. 15 years of steady paychecks, good benefits, and the kind of job security that let you sleep at night. I opened my banking app. The screen loaded, and I saw nothing. No deposit. No paycheck. Just the same $847.32 that had been sitting there since I paid last month's bills. My hands started shaking. Not dramatically, just that subtle tremor you get when your brain realizes something is very, very wrong. I refreshed the app. Once, twice, 5 times. The number didn't change. $847.32. That's what stood between me and complete financial collapse. This has to be a glitch, I whispered to myself. Banks make mistakes. The system's probably just delayed. But deep down, I knew. We all knew. The government shutdown that started on October 1st wasn't just another political game anymore. It was real. And it was about to destroy everything I'd spent 23 years building. My name is Michael Patterson. I'm 52 years old. And this is the story of how I went from a respected federal housing analyst to selling hot dogs on the corner of 15th and Constitution Avenue in less than 3 weeks. Let me take you back to before everything fell apart. Before the shutdown. Before Trump's second-term policies turned my life into a waking nightmare. September 2025. Life was good. Not extravagant, not luxury, just solid, dependable, American middle-class good. My wife Sarah worked part-time as a school librarian. Our daughter Emma was in her sophomore year at George Washington University, studying political science. The irony of that isn't lost on me now. We lived in a modest 3-bedroom house in Silver Spring, Maryland. Nothing fancy, but it was ours. Well, the bank owned most of it, but we'd been paying that mortgage for 11 years without missing a single payment. My credit score was 748. I was proud of that number, worked hard for it. My salary at HOD was $87,400 annually. Sarah brought in about $24,000. Together, we cleared around $6,800 per month after taxes. Our expenses were tight, but manageable. Mortgage, $2,340. Car payments, $520. We had 2 vehicles. Emma's tuition, $1,200 after financial aid and loans. Utilities, $380. Groceries, $800 insurance. Health, home, auto, $720 student loan payment. My old MBA debt, $340 credit cards, minimum payments, $280, gas, phone, internet, $420. That left us with about $800 cushion each month. We'd saved $12,000 in our emergency fund. Retirement accounts looked decent, about $340,000 between my TSP and Sarah's 403B. I thought we were prepared. I thought we'd done everything right. Follow the rules, work hard, save money, live within your means. That's what they tell you, right? That's the American dream they sell you. What they don't tell you is how fast it all disappears when the paycheck stops coming. The shutdown started on a Tuesday. We'd been through these before. 2013, 2018, 2019. They always resolved within a few weeks. Politicians would grandstand, make their points, then eventually compromise. That's how it always worked. But this time felt different. Trump's administration was demanding massive budget cuts. No more wasteful spending on what they called non-essential government services. The Democrats in Congress refused to pass a budget that included those cuts. Both sides dug in their heels. And we, The 730,000 federal workers became pawns in their political chess game. I was classified as essential personnel. That meant I had to keep working. No pay. But I couldn't just stop showing up. If I did, I'd lose my job permanently. No severance, no unemployment benefits, nothing. Don't worry, my supervisor told us in that first week. They'll pass a continuing resolution. They always do. You'll get back pay for everything. Back pay. That word became both a promise and a curse. Sure, eventually we'd get paid. Maybe. But eventually doesn't pay for groceries today. Eventually doesn't cover the mortgage due on the first of the month. October 11th should have been payday. I checked my account at midnight. Nothing. 6 a.m. Nothing. Noon. Nothing. By 5 p.m., I had to face reality. Sarah found me sitting at the kitchen table, staring at our bills spread out in front of me. "It's not there," I said quietly. "What's not there?" "My paycheck." It didn't come. She sat down across from me. Her face went pale. "But they said essential workers would still get paid." "They lied. Or they're just incompetent. Does it matter which?" We sat in silence for a long moment. Then Sarah asked the question I'd been dreading. "What do we do?" I pulled out a calculator and started running numbers. "We have $12,000 in savings. Your next paycheck is in 2 weeks. That's $900 after taxes. If we're extremely careful. How long can we last?" I looked at the numbers. Did the math 3 times, hoping I was wrong. Maybe 2 months. 3 if we cut everything to the bone. "Michael, Emma's tuition payment is due in 2 weeks." "I know. And the mortgage?" "I know, Sarah. I know." That night, I didn't sleep. I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, running scenarios in my head. Every scenario ended the same way. Disaster. By October 18th, the shutdown had no end in sight. Senate Majority Leader was on TV every night, each side blaming the other. Trump tweeted about draining the swamp and cutting the fat from government. His transportation secretary gave an interview saying federal workers should just adjust their lifestyles and maybe get a second job. A second job, while working full-time for free. That's when I started seeing my colleagues crack. Jennifer from the 3rd floor started crying during a team meeting. She had 3 kids and a mortgage. Her husband had been laid off 6 months ago. She was the sole income. Now she had no income. Marcus, one of the senior analysts, just stopped showing up. Risked losing his job permanently because he couldn't afford gas to drive to work without getting paid. And me? I started making impossible choices. October 19th, paid the mortgage. That wiped out $2,340 from our savings. Balance, $9,660. October 20th, no paycheck again. Called Emma and told her we might need to delay her tuition payment. She cried. Not because she was upset with us, because she felt guilty. That hurt worse than anything. October 21st, got a letter from the mortgage company. We understand these are difficult times. However, please note that missed payments will result in late fees and potential foreclosure proceedings. October 22nd, credit card companies started calling. They'd heard about the shutdown. They wanted to discuss payment arrangements. Translation: they were getting nervous. October 23rd, Sarah came home from the library and told me they were cutting hours. Budget constraints. She'd be making $150 less per month. I actually laughed. Couldn't help it. What was another $150 when we were already drowning? October 24th. I did something I never thought I'd do. I went to a payday loan place. Took out $500 at 400% APR. It felt like selling my soul. But we needed groceries. October 25th. The second paycheck didn't come. I'd now missed 2 pay periods. That was $6,700 of income just gone. And we had no idea when, or if, it would ever arrive. October 26th, Sunday morning. I'm sitting at the kitchen table again, my new permanent spot, doing math that doesn't work no matter how many times I try. Savings account, $6,820. Sarah's next paycheck, 5 days away, $900 bills due in the next 2 weeks, $4,180. We were $460 short, and that was if nothing unexpected happened. In my experience, unexpected things always happen. Emma called. She needed $200 for textbooks. I told her we'd figure it out. I had no idea how. The car started making a weird noise. Check engine light came on. I ignored it. Couldn't afford to fix it. Couldn't afford not to fix it. Sarah's mother called, asking if we could help with her prescription costs. She's 78, on a fixed income. I had to tell her no. Had to tell my wife's elderly mother that we couldn't help with her heart medication because the federal government decided we weren't worth paying. That afternoon, I went for a walk. Needed to clear my head. Found myself walking through downtown D.C., past all the monuments and museums, past the Capitol building where senators were probably enjoying their fully paid salaries while deciding whether we deserved ours. And that's when I saw it. A hot dog cart. Some guy, probably about my age, selling hot dogs to tourists. Line of customers, cash changing hands, real money. Right now, not eventually. Not back pay when Congress decides to do their job. I stood there watching this guy for 20 minutes. He was making money. Not a lot, probably. But he was making money. Today, this hour, this minute. An idea started forming. A desperate, humiliating, necessary idea. That night, I told Sarah, I'm going to sell hot dogs. She looked at me like I'd lost my mind. You're what? I'm going to buy a hot dog cart and sell hot dogs in D.C. while I wait for Congress to get their act together. Michael, you have a master's degree in public policy. You're a GS-13 federal analyst. You can't what? Can't do what's necessary to feed our family? Can't swallow my pride to keep our house? Sarah, I've missed 2 paychecks. We're 5 weeks from being homeless. But a hot dog cart? How would you even? I looked it up. You can rent a cart for $100 a day. Hot dogs cost about 50 cents each, sell for $3. Buns, condiments, drinks. Overhead is low. If I can sell 100 hot dogs a day, that's $250 gross. Minus $100 cart rental and maybe $70 in supplies. That's $80 profit. Do that 6 days a week. That's $480. It's not my federal salary, but it's something. You'd have to work 2 jobs, your government job without pay and selling hot dogs. I'm already working 1 job without pay. At least this way, one of them would actually pay me. She was quiet for a long time. Then, what about permits? Licenses? Don't you need? I found a guy online. He rents carts with all the permits included. It's legal. Well, mostly legal. Mostly? Legal enough. Another long silence. Finally, Sarah nodded. Okay, if this is what we need to do. It is. Then we do it. I kissed her forehead. Wondered how we'd gotten here. Wondered how the American dream had turned into selling hot dogs on the street while working for free for the federal government. I picked up the cart at 5 a.m. from a warehouse in southeast D.C. Guy named Carlos ran the operation. He'd been renting carts to desperate federal workers for 3 weeks now. Business was booming for him at least. You're not the first, he told me. Won't be the last. Got 2 IRS agents, a park ranger, and somebody from the Department of Agriculture already working my carts. That's supposed to make me feel better? He shrugged. Just saying you're not alone. Not alone. 730,000 of us not getting paid. How many were selling hot dogs? How many were driving Uber? How many were pawning their possessions? How many were already homeless? I set up my cart at 15th and Constitution at 6:30 a.m. Prime location, Tourists heading to the National Mall. Federal workers walking to their unpaid jobs. My former colleagues. Some of them would walk right past me. Would they recognize me? What would they think? First customer arrived at 7:15. Tourist from Ohio. Wanted 2 hot dogs and a Coke. That'll be $8, I said. He handed me a 10. Keep the change. I looked at those $2 in my hand. First money I'd earned in 4 weeks. I wanted to laugh. I wanted to cry. I wanted to scream at the Capitol building visible 3 blocks away. Instead, I said, "Thank you. Have a great day." By noon, I'd sold 43 hot dogs. By 3 p.m., 89. By the time I packed up at 7 p.m., I'd sold 127. Gross revenue, $381. Cart rental, $100 supplies, $88. Net profit, $193. Not enough, but more than zero. More than the federal government was paying me. I drove home exhausted, smelling like grilled onions and dirty water. Found Sarah waiting up. How'd it go? I handed her $193 in cash. We're not rich, but we can eat tomorrow. She started crying. I held her. We both cried. 2 educated, hard-working Americans crying over $193 in hot dog money because our government had abandoned us. By early November, I'd fallen into a routine. Wake up at 4:30 a.m., pick up the cart at 5, set up by 6:30, sell hot dogs until 2 p.m., pack up, return the cart, drive to my federal job, work for free until 7 p.m., drive home, collapse, repeat. I was working 16-hour days, making maybe $150 to $200 a day from hot dogs. Still not enough to cover all our bills, but enough to slow the bleeding. Emma dropped out of GW. Couldn't afford tuition. She was devastated. I was devastated. But what choice did we have? She moved back home, got a job at Target. My daughter, who was going to be a lawyer, or maybe run for Congress someday, was now stacking shelves for $15 an hour because her father's government decided he wasn't worth paying. The mortgage company sent another letter. We were 30 days late. They were understanding, but warned that at 90 days, foreclosure proceedings would begin. Our savings were gone. Completely. We'd burned through all $12,000. Now we were living on Sarah's paycheck and my hot dog money. It wasn't enough. We were going backwards $500 to $700 every month. I started putting bills on credit cards. The same credit cards I'd spent 10 years paying down. The same debt I'd finally escaped. I was drowning in it again, deeper every day. And still, no paycheck from the federal government. Still no end to the shutdown in sight. Still no solution from Congress. November 7th. I'm serving hot dogs when I see someone I recognize. Tom Bradley. We'd started at HUD together back in 2010. He'd left for the private sector 5 years ago, now made 6 figures at some consulting firm. He walked right up to my cart, stared at me. Recognition dawned. Mike? Mike Patterson. Is that you? I wanted to run. Wanted to disappear. Wanted to be anywhere but standing behind a hot dog cart facing someone who used to be my equal. Hey, Tom. What are you selling hot dogs? Yeah. Government shutdown. No paycheck for 5 weeks. Got bills to pay. He looked horrified, pitying. Jesus, Mike. I heard it was bad, but why don't you just quit? Get a real job. A real job. As if my 15 years of federal service wasn't real. As if analyzing housing policy and helping low-income families find affordable homes wasn't real work. I've got too many years invested, I said. Pension, benefits. If I quit now, I lose everything. They're saying we'll get back pay eventually. Eventually might be never, man. Trump doesn't care about federal workers. He said that explicitly. He thinks you're all part of the deep state he's trying to destroy. I know what he thinks. So why stay? Because I don't know what else to do. Tom bought 2 hot dogs he didn't want. Left me a $20 tip. The pity money burned worse than earning nothing at all. November 12th. I'm in the cart, midday, when my phone starts buzzing. Text messages, news alerts, Sarah calling. "Turn on the news," she said. "They're making an announcement." I pulled up a news stream on my phone. There was Trump's transportation secretary at a podium. In response to ongoing budget negotiations, the administration has made the difficult decision to begin permanent layoffs of federal workers deemed non-essential to core government operations. Approximately 4,000 positions will be eliminated immediately. Additional cuts may follow if the budget impasse continues. My blood went cold. 4,000 people. Fired. Not furloughed. Fired. I called my supervisor. Am I on the list? I don't know yet. They haven't told us department by department. Mike, I'm scared. I think we all might be. Non-essential. That's what they were calling us. 15 years of my life, dedicated to public service, and some political appointee who'd been in government for 6 months decided I was non-essential. November 15th. A reporter from a local news station approached my cart. Young woman, mid-20s, looked barely out of journalism school. "Excuse me, sir. I'm doing a story on federal workers affected by the shutdown. Would you be willing to talk to me?" Every instinct said no. Say nothing. Keep your head down. Don't make waves. But another part of me, the angry part, the part that had been growing for 6 weeks, said, "Yes. Tell your story. Make them see what they're doing." "What do you want to know?" "Why are you selling hot dogs?" "Because the federal government decided I wasn't worth paying." "You're a federal worker?" 15 years at HUD. Still working there, actually. Full-time. For free. This is my second job, so I can eat, and pay my mortgage, and not become homeless while serving my country. She asked more questions. I answered all of them. I talked about missed paychecks and mounting debt, about my daughter dropping out of college, about the choice between feeding your family and maintaining your dignity. "What would you say to Congress?" she asked. I looked directly at the camera. "I'd say you're destroying real people's lives for political points. We're not statistics. We're not government waste. We're Americans who showed up every day to serve our country. And you abandoned us. You decided we weren't worth paying because we make good pawns in your political games. Well, I hope you're proud. I hope when you go home to your fully paid salary, and your government health insurance, and your taxpayer-funded retirement, you think about the 730,000 Americans you left behind." The interview aired that night. Went viral by morning. By noon, I had reporters at my cart. By evening, I was on national news. And by the next day, I got a letter from HUD. Due to inappropriate public statements and conduct unbecoming of a federal employee, your employment is terminated effective immediately. They fired me, after 15 years, after working for free for 6 weeks, after doing everything right and following every rule. They fired me for telling the truth. I'd worked for my government my entire adult life, believed in public service, believed in democracy, believed that if you did your job well and played by the rules, the system would take care of you. I was wrong. November 20th, 2025. I'm 52 years old. No job, no savings. $47,000 in debt. 2 months behind on my mortgage. My daughter's education interrupted. My retirement plans destroyed. My faith in my country shattered. But you know what? I still have my hot dog cart. And I'm still here. Still fighting. Still trying to figure out how to survive in a country that values political gamesmanship over the lives of its own workers. This is my life now. This is what the American dream looks like in 2025. This is what happens when you dedicate your career to public service in a nation that's forgotten what public service means. I don't know how this story ends. Maybe I'll find another job. Maybe I'll lose my house. Maybe this hot dog stand becomes permanent. Maybe I'll be doing this at 60, at 65, until I'm too old to push a cart. All I know is this. When the politicians talk about reducing government waste and draining the swamp, remember my name. Michael Patterson, 52 years old, 15-year federal employee, hot dog vendor. Remember that every budget cut is a real person. Every non-essential position eliminated is someone's father, someone's mother, someone's future. Remember us when you vote. Remember us when you decide what kind of country you want to live in. Because we're still here, standing on corners, selling hot dogs, trying to survive. And we're not going away.